Hello and welcome to Agent Upgrade. I'm Pablo Galvez and this is Simone Russo. And together, we've seen success in selling real estate. Now, we're passionate about sharing how we did it with as many people as possible. Subscribe today and welcome to the community. Next, I wanted to talk about who do we call? And this is a question I get a lot of times is, should I be calling past clients or should I be door knocking? Who should I be contacting? And you did talk a little bit about this, but you talked about your sources and the types of people that you would call. Is there somebody that you call first and why? And do you use a different script for each one of these people?
Well, I know a lot of our American friends, they're allowed to call expireds.
Yeah.
So if you're in the US and your market and your board or your governing body allows you to call expireds, that's the first place you would start, is to call your expireds. Then for me personally, the next easiest source for me was to speak to the builders in the market. So I was very comfortable working with builders. So that would be the first place that I would start because I'd have instant wins, right? It would be easier calls. And then I'd move on to my past clients and Sphere. Again, easier calls to make. So it's kind of like the warm up, okay, in your prospecting. And then finally, I would round out my prospecting for the day with for sale by owners and then my just listed, just sold calls.
And did you have all those people in your database that you could call?
They were all ready, yeah. The numbers were there. And again, we used an auto dialer, so I wouldn't physically be dialing the numbers. The system dialed the numbers for me, and then it would just click into my headset.
One of the things that I always learned was call your past clients first, or call whoever you're most comfortable calling first.
Right.
And the reason is you get there, you're a little nervous maybe about calling some people, and you call someone who just bought a house from you. And you just say, hi, James, just wanted to see how your house is going. And then they say, oh, it's great, Pablo. We really love it. We're so happy. We love you. Oh, it's so great. And you feel great because you're getting the endorphins from that. And then you say, is there anybody else that I could help? Right. So now you're looking for a referral. And this is a great source to get started with is your past clients, because typically they love to hear from you.
Right.
It's a nice, happy phone call. And then you get into the tougher ones after.
Yeah. And, when you get to the tougher calls, sometimes you might get the odd hang up. You might get the odd person that is upset that you called them. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to want to receive your phone call. And you're the one that's calling them. And who knows what they're up to at their home or their office when they receive your call. So you just have to be really okay with the fact that not everyone's going to be in love with you when you call them.
Right. Let me ask you this question. When you called people, would you leave a voicemail or what would you do?
Yeah, the only people I would leave a voicemail for was my past clients and sphere of influence because and the way I categorize those people I know them, they know me, and we know each other on a first name basis, right? So if I were to bump into them in the grocery store, they would say, hey, Simone, and I'd say, hey, James. That would be a past client or sphere of influence.
And what would a voicemail sound like?
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi.
No, it's a voicemail.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Ring,
sorry.
ring. Hi, this is James. I can't get to the phone right now.
Hi, James. It's your realtor, Simone, calling. I hope you're having a great day. I was just looking to see if you needed anything with respect to real estate. And as always, if you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell, I'd love to hear from you and help your family and friends. Call me anytime. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon.
Great. So that's a really great example. Now, the reason why we don't want to leave voicemails for every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there that we call is because the likelihood of them calling you back is 0%.
Right.
They never do. And it occupies time because now you're waiting for someone's voicemail. Hi, you've reached the James residence. We're in vacation in Hawaii right now, but we'd love to hear from you when we get back. And now you're just waiting for the next voicemail. So that can occupy a lot of your time. Don't waste your time with that. Ring, ring, ring. If you get a voicemail, hang up, go to the next call.
Right.
Okay. Next one I've got here is, I love this topic. Distraction management. I am self-professed ADHD and I get the staff always says Pablo sees the squirrels, right? The squirrel, it happens all the time with me. It's very hard for me to focus. So I believe that in order to help someone like Simone Simone's a pretty focused person, but she can still even have distractions. And I think we all do. It's like the easy button from Staples. So if you have on your computer your email program open at the same time as you have this, what's going to happen is an email is going to come in, and naturally you're going to sneak a peek. You sneak a peek, and it's something that you might want to deal with.
And you get sidetracked.
So the first thing that Simone had me do, I'll never forget this, is turn off all my notifications on the phone. That means there's no bings and bongs, not just like putting it on silent, but I'm talking about going into the notifications center and disabling notifications on everything. That was a big, big move, right?
Yeah.
To not have notifications. Second of all was to have nothing else that would pop up or come up on your screen if you have a screen, because we do understand that things are digital these days. I got so bad with the screens, I'd have to power my computer down, print out my list of people that I was going to call, and actually have a piece of paper on my desk, and that's it. And the phone in another room. So understand what's distracting you. If you work in an office and you have an assistant or you have other realtors, put a do not disturb on your door. And if somebody comes in, you say, look, I've got a do not disturb. You're not allowed to disturb me. Okay? So that's distractions. The next one that I wanted you to talk about is the importance of consistency in all of this, because you talked about all these things. Do you do them at the same time every day? And do you do these every single time?
Yes, yes, and yes.
And why?
So consistency is key. So this is a marathon, right? This is not a sprint. You can't prospect on Monday, skip Tuesday, do half prospecting on Wednesday, skip Thursday, and then prospect on Friday and expect to have big results. So this is a learned skill that you're going to have to be committed to. So you have to have your schedule set, and you have to show up and be consistent the entire time. So consistency is absolutely essential for prospecting. I would give myself a 10%, I call it a fail rate, where if I was sick, for example, or if something were to come up that was a real emergency, I would have about 10% of the time where I wouldn't be following my schedule. Other than that, it was like go time.
So I want to kind of bring things in a little bit here, a little bit closer, because I want you to see that the papers on Simone's desk, there's a lot of numbers on here. Okay, we've got numbers analyzer. This is for daily tracking. And then we've got a monthly business plan. And we've got a lot of numbers and goals and everything in here. It was really important for us, even from an early standpoint, to be tracking numbers.
Right.
And every single time you made a contact, you would circle it on here, and you would write at the end of the day the total contacts and the number of hours that you prospected for.
Yes,
right?
and let's just pause there, because this is my weekly prospecting sheet. So each day has a section, and then so this would represent 1 week, and I would total the red would be the numbers that I had to hit. So those are the number of contacts that I had to keep prospecting until I could circle all the red. And then I would total up how many contacts I actually made. And this is really important, because if you don't track your numbers, you won't have any idea what's working, what's not working, and what you need to do or where you need improvement. So tracking your numbers will tell you all of that information. The other thing I had on my desk was always my monthly business plan. So my monthly business plan, today's happens to be towards the end of a month. So my monthly business plan for the next month would already be created and based on all the information that I had produced from the prior month. And then of course in my office out on my counter would always be my annual business plan, and the business plan would be filled in completely. And I would refer to this business plan every single day as part of my motivation to know what I was up to or what I wanted to
what
accomplish.
The end goal was.
Right.
And so tracking numbers, as you said, is really important so that
Yeah.
you know where you're coming from. So let's break that down a little bit. A lot of people ask me, they say, well, I don't have time to track my numbers. I'm just going to make some calls. I'm going to just do some work, right? The reason why we do this is so that we know where we've been and where we need to go to if we want to change or increase our business. So a lot of people say they want to increase their business. And I say, well, how many transactions did you do last year? I don't know. I think around 8. Maybe 7, maybe 12, I can't remember. I mean, you need to know your numbers if you want to increase. It's like saying, I want to lose some weight. Okay, how much do you weigh right now? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Okay, where do you want to be? A little less than this, I don't know, right? So you need to have your numbers. So if you know that you weigh this and you want to weigh that, and you know how many pounds you need to lose, you can create a plan that goes along with that. Does that make sense? So with the numbers, again, we track every single day how many contacts, etc. So at the end of the year, you're going to see, I spoke to 8,000 people over the course of this last year, okay? And we did 58 transactions. Now, we want our goal to increase by 20%. So I'm making up numbers here, but say our transaction goal is going to be 69 or 70 the next year, then we know we need to increase our contacts by 20%, because if you talk to that many people and you got that result, you talk to 20% more, you're going to get 20% more.
It really is a numbers game, right?
Totally
I mean,
numbers
if
game.
you start tracking your numbers, you won't have to guess on what you need to do to increase your business.
Right.
You just look at your numbers, and your numbers will tell you what you need to do, what activities you need to pour into in order to increase your business.
So no more excuses of I don't have time for this and I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to track my numbers. You track your numbers because you're going to be able to analyze and grow your company and your business a lot better if you do.
Right.
We tracked the source of every single transaction. Where did they come from?
Yeah.
A referral or a past client or whatever. We tracked our listing appointments, our listings taken to listing appointment ratio.
Yep.
Our
Buyer.
closings to listings ratio, our buyers to sellers ratios. We tracked everything. So
We knew what communities our properties were coming from, or our transactions were coming from. We tracked absolutely everything we could, and it really helps narrow down what you need to do.
And if you need help with this, get an accountability partner. Get somebody else who knows what they're doing, like us, for example, and ask for help. Ask what they're doing. What exactly are they doing? Somebody's willing to share, I'm sure.